They'll just change it next week.
They will. They will just change it next week. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Sweet. So today, when we get back to the screen, talking about we're going to be picking up the second half of this 1 through 5 business planning session. And today specifically talking more around why we talk about 3 things is kind of what's going to kick it off. And so, I will, I'm not sure if you guys ever heard about the financial concept of diversification. Is that anyone familiar with the concept of diversification in finance?
Diversifying your funds into how they work?
Or into different things. So like, for example, Noah, if you talk to a financial advisor and you say, hey, financial advisor, I am a rich, successful real estate agent. I have millions of dollars to invest in the stock market right now. They would tell you, no, Werner, don't put all your millions of dollars in NVIDIA, because what happens if NVIDIA goes bankrupt? What happens to your millions of dollars? Well, but what if you put your money in, let's say, half NVIDIA and half Kraft?
You end up splitting the, what's it called?
You'd only lose half.
Your risk.
Right. You're diversifying the risk. Now, what if you put it into 3 things? You'd only lose a third. Now, if you put it into 30 or 100 or 1,000, right? So the concept of diversification is that diversification is what will help you mitigate risk. Now, obviously, if we put half of our money in Kraft and half of our money in NVIDIA, the odds of us making as much money as we would if NVIDIA tripled in the next 2 years is probably pretty low, right? So by diversifying and taking risk away from our portfolio, it's oftentimes we might take some reward away, right? So like it is possible that diversification costs us some upside on our portfolio because we're not investing in a specific thing as much as maybe we want to or would have otherwise been optimal at the time. And yet we realize that by investing in these other funnels, we're building a broader foundation for ourselves so that our business can withstand any little shock or bump in the road, instead of just like one shock or bump in the road turning into a massive explosion because we've put all of our eggs in one lead gen bucket. Right. So let's talk a little bit more about diversification. Let's talk about these priorities. And, we can come up with a lot of different scenarios here for the rookie of the year problem. Right. And by the way, we all know this kid. We all know the rookie of the year. We all had a rookie of the year in our real estate class. We all had them, or they were in our first year brokerage training, just like this one, Noah. And, they started working with us at the same time. We got a license and they picked up 25 deals in their first year. I am like thinking of someone in my mind when I have this story. They picked up 25 deals in their first year from all their friends and family. For whatever reason, it seemed like every single human being that they ever met in their lives decided to buy or sell a home in the 12 months following this individual getting their real estate license. And so what did this individual do? They assumed that friends and family just falls out of the sky. It just falls out of the sky. Don't they just call me all the time? So year 2, what was our backup plan? We did, everyone already bought the year before. So year 2, we struggled. And year 3, we were out of this thing because, oh, wow, real estate's really hard, right? One small bump, and that's not a small bump. That is a massive tsunami. But like you should have monetized and realized that, oh wow, while all my friends and family are buying homes, I probably can't sell homes to these people in the next 5 to 7 years. So after I get done with this glut of housing that I'm about to transact, now I need to be investing in something else. I need to be diversifying my portfolio, right? So think about the off-road truck, if you will. And now, frankly, this is Blue Pebble's story. This is my story. One, it's going to be slower, potentially. Because if you're going to be investing in 3 different things, from a business owner, and this is a little counterintuitive from how we talk about focus, right? If we really want to be great at something, don't we need to focus on something, right? This demands that we focus on 3 things. And that just means we need to time block. So I'm not saying you don't want to be focused. You want to be focused on these individual funnels. You just want, while you're in it, you want to be in it. And then you can go do something else. And that's a time blocking issue. But what we're doing is diversifying, right? And you might have a slower start because, like, hypothetically, Noah, let's say it just so happens that open houses are the way to be right now, right? If I spent all of my time and energy doing open houses, it could be that I might have gotten more deals than if I also spent some time calling my friends and family, and then also spent some time working on my business network as well, which is also be much slower than friends and family, and then also open houses, right? Different times of maturity of these different funnels, right? It's quite possible that had I taken all of my time in my week and only prospected open houses, I might make more business. But if you're only doing open houses, you're kind of missing, I would argue, half the market, because you're going to meet buyers, you're not going to meet sellers, and you're not going to get referrals, right? So what happens when rates spike and now everyone wants to sell their home because there are no buyers and it's hard to sell your home? You don't know any sellers because you haven't been networking. You spend all your time working with buyers on open houses, right? So the point of this diversification is we never know where our business is going to come from because we never know where the market is going to go. We never know what's going to get hot. We don't know what situations we're going to get put into. And so the off-road truck, by diversifying and casting a wider net, you just increase the probability that over a long period of time, you are going to be successful. Because when you work on my team at Blue Pebble and on my team and whatever, I will always tell you it takes a year, maybe even 2. It takes a while to get ramped up in this industry. It's hard. So if we think that we're just going to overnight flip a switch and in 12 months, we're going to be closing $20 million of business, that's a very unlikely scenario, right? So let's plan on building it over a multiple year period of time. And if we're going to take the long-term approach, we're not going to just going to chase the next shiny object, then really the best way to do it is build a business that you are sure is going to succeed in the long run versus hoping is going to succeed in the short run. And if we're going to do that, you need to diversify. Does that make sense? Cool. So part of the reason why we've talked about time blocking previously is because I wanted to try and show you guys how much time you actually have in your calendar every single week. And even when you are part-time, because I would even argue part-time agents are never really truly part-time. If you're a part-time agent and you're going to get a coffee at your other gig and you hear someone talking about buying or selling a home, are you just going to like look away because you're not on the clock? No. So I would argue you're always a full-time agent. The question is, are we working a 40-hour a week plus schedule or are we not? It just impacts the business and the activities that we're going to do. But I don't know one person would ever shoot down that deal if it popped itself up in a coffee shop. And if you're on accepting that lead, then you're working full-time as far as I'm concerned, right? So that Nate?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just copying notes into my thing. It's just a meme. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, cool. So now that we're aware of how much time we actually have, regardless of how much time we're actually investing in growing our real estate business, if you are working and let's just say available for a full-time real estate schedule, which I would argue while you're starting out is a 60+ hour a week schedule. If you think that getting to $20 million of transactions is going to happen overnight by working 20 hours a week, you are mistaken unless you were born into the real estate family silver spoon, like the 2 or 3 Denver families that we can all think of off the top of our heads. Those people can just roll into a $30 million a year business and never have to work. They trade off their parents' name. What a luxury. Unfortunately, no one on this call, to my knowledge, has that name. And so we all need to build that ourselves, right? So if we're going to do this, we need to figure out and make sure that our funnels are going to work. And when I'm building a business, I don't want my business to have a good shot of working. Well, no, if you bet your life mission on this thing, I think you got a pretty good chance. Does that feel good? How about Noah? You're going to make it your life mission to become a real estate broker. There is no doubt, but for you to succeed, it is only a matter of time. What are you more excited about?
Journey. I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but like,
would you rather me as your coach tell you, Noah, I think you've got a pretty good shot at making this work? Or would you rather me tell you, Noah, if you do this, there is no chance for success? because it's just a matter of time. What would you prefer me to tell you?
The second part.
Okay. Well, then we think the way most people design their business funnels is they think about it as one, plus one. And I know that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even make sense to me as a math guy. So Jen, I know the math isn't mathing, but I'm gonna like take that back. That just came to me right now, and I'm gonna take it back. Right. The way most people think about their business plan is 1 + 1 + 1. And what do I mean by that? They want to make it so that every funnel equals their goal. Right. So attention into one of 3 funnels equals my one goal. I'm going to do 3 things. And by doing 3 things, the additive cumulative total of all 3 of those things is going to equal what I need to achieve my goal. That is totally logical. Totally logical. Until you put that model into the real world. This is where the paper plane looks really good indoors. And then you take it out in your backyard and it goes 5 feet. Because in the real world, as far as I'm aware, I've been doing this. I mean, I haven't been doing this long as everybody, but I've been doing this for a long time. I don't think anything has ever gone fully to plan. And so if you create a business plan where 1/3 + 1/3 = 1, and then you lose 1/3, what are you left with? 2/3. So if you build a business plan to achieve a 1 or a goal, and your business plan only equals the goal itself, and it requires 3 things to be added up. It's a 3-leg parlay to hit that one goal. What do you think your odds of success are going to be? Not as high as you would want. Whereas, what if we design it so that every individual leg of our goal plan will hit the goal itself? So now 1 + 1. And now what happens if one of our legs of our tripod falls? We still have buffer over our goal. And I would even argue you could wipe 2 legs off that tripod and you could still hit your goal if we set it up that way. And so the problem is that most people, they don't do the exercise in this industry of how much time they all together. And that's why I don't like doing it all in the same session, because they do the goal first and then they go backwards from the goal. And then what happens is you don't realize how much time you're leaving on the table, how much activity and inefficiency your schedule will be set up, right? Because we're going to build our time around the activities that we want it to be. So if you only start with a level of 1 and then work it back, you're going to build a very inefficient schedule about getting, very little done in an 8-hour day, because it's going to seem like nothing. Whereas now when we present a 3X business plan where each leg of the funnel can help you achieve your goal and you work that backwards into daily activity, you're like, holy crap, Jared, that's a lot. I'm going to say, holy crap, Nate and Jen and Noah, I already proved to you that you have time in your schedule to do all this stuff. So now if we approach it in this organized manner, not only do we have time, we have ultimate certainty that we will achieve our goals, because not only are we going to hit our goal 1X, it could be 2 or 3X.